Hey guys, if you want to see how I created this design, definitely keep watching this video. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'll be trying a line drawing design on a fabric. So basically, I just randomly googled this design, just random line drawings I could find on the internet, and I found this one. I'm just going to try and do the middle tree that you're seeing. So to start off, I'm just going to get my ruler and draw like a straight line, basically trying to sketch what I saw on the internet. Okay, so I'm going to start off with just the middle tree. I don't intend to do too much because it's actually my first time attempting this design. I've tried to do something like this with like other designs. I do not have like proof at the moment, but I tried to experiment to just see if it was possible for me to actually do them, and I decided to do a video trying something completely new with this one. So I'm just using my chalk to kind of sketch what I saw on the internet and see if it will come out as close as possible. I don't call myself an artist or anything, but I do usually draw sometimes, so so that's what I'm trying to do. So once I'm done with this part, I'd go ahead to the actual sewing. So you don't have to make it like super neat or anything. It's just kind of like a guide for you when you're sewing, so you're not just trying to wing it on the sewing machine. This was actually meant to be a shift dress, but that didn't work out fine. If you know anything about line drawings, they kind of just have like two ends, so you start off with one and end up on the other point. So that's pretty much what we're going to do. To start off, make sure that your bobbin is full, your bobbin thread is full, because if it's not full, you're going to get stuck somewhere, and that will not be cute. Because when you're trying to sew this thing, especially with decorative stitches, you have to ensure that you have enough thread to start and finish, so that you're not like trying to continue from where you stopped because you had to change your thread or something. So yeah, I use basic black thread because I did not think I had enough thread with any other color to use. So I decided to use 24. I think that's like the one I've been experimenting with so far. I changed my foot to match the 24, and then I was ready to start off with one end of the design. Okay, this is how I intend for it to go, so we can get on with sewing. So I place my fabric, and then I start off with a straight line. Now I'm starting off with a straight line because I need to be able to backstitch, and with decorative stitches on this sewing machine you cannot backstitch to secure your stitch. So I'm using the center stitch 1. So there's regular straight stitch, which is 0 0, and I'm using the 0 1 because that kind of like puts my needle in the center. And with most decorative stitches, your needle is usually at the center, so that kind of just helps it to align and everything will be straight and uniform and whatnot. So I'm starting off with a straight stitch, and I'm going to back stitch a few times, just back and forth like 4 times or something, and then I'll be ready to like continue my design. So to switch my needle back to select another stitch, the stitch I actually want to use for the design, I lift my needle up and then I change my stitch to 24. So with it at 24 now, I can put my needle down and continue with my sewing. So I try to like adjust, I just realized I tried to like adjust my stitch length, which we really do not need to. It kind of like spaces your design, but I don't think you need to. You can just keep it where it's at. So I did this, I started sewing. So as you're sewing like this, you definitely, because of the way the design is, you have to ensure that that line that you drew kind of like stays in between those two plastic plates that look like they're about to kiss. So just ensure that your line is like always in between those two plates. That way your design would, be straight and it will follow like the pattern that you intended for it. So when you're approaching a corner like this, you kind of like slow down to where you feel like you can stop, and once you can stop, you lift the lever up like so, and then you adjust your fabric, and then you put your lever back down. And once you're able to do that, you can continue with your sewing. Okay, so it's just like when you're trying to sew your regular, straight stitch, and then you want to like sew a corner. It's kind of what you do. Okay, so now you can continue with the sewing, continue with the design that you're creating. You do the same thing every time you approach a corner, and always just ensure that that line that you created for the pattern kind of just stays in between, in the center of your foot, kind of just where your needle will always, remain on top of the line, sort of. Okay, in between those two plates, like I said earlier. So this foot I'm using, I don't know if I mentioned it earlier, but it's the foot N. So if you're using this machine, you just know what foot to use. So when you're approaching the corner again, you do the same thing that I said earlier. You slow down till you can stop, till you feel like you're at the point where you can stop. Maybe you're wrapping up a flower or wrapping up one part of the design. You can stop, and then you lift the lever up. Ensure that your needle remains down while you're adjusting your fabric, and then you adjust it to where you can see the line in the center again before you continue sewing. Okay, so this is what it looks like so far. It's coming out nice. Okay, so I was able to do this till I got to the top. I did the same thing that I've been doing all along. I slowed down so I could stop, and then I lifted the lever and ensured that my needle was down in the fabric, and then I turned the fabric to where I needed it to be, and then I continued my sewing. So I'll say it's pretty much a straightforward thing. I'm thinking of exploring, making pockets, because I think I have a lot of scrap fabrics that I really can't join them into an actual dress at the moment. So I'm thinking of just exploring, pocket designs, different styles of pockets, whatnot. I don't know. I mean, if I'm able to come up with something soon, you'll see videos of it basically. At this point, I'm wrapping up with the design, and like I started off with a straight stitch, so I'm going to sew this design towards the end, and then we'll get to a point where I'll just stop. I switch my I let my needle come up, and then I switch my stitch design back to like the 01 that I started with, and then I will now sew and back stitch so that I can secure my stitch so that it's secured on both ends of the design. Okay, so you have to remember to do this, because your decorative stitches, or let me just say the decorative stitches on this sewing machine, would not let you back stitch. You can't back stitch, so you have to use a straight line to start so you can back stitch. That way your design is kind of safe. Okay, I have not tried to wash with this fabric, so I don't know if it's going to like tear off or something when you try to wash, because it's basically just stitches, right? So I don't know if it's going to like tear off or something. But I mean, with other designs that I've tried to do, especially when they look like the embroidery ones, they kind of like stay. So this is what I was talking about earlier. You change your stitch back to 1, and then you continue sewing so you can back stitch. So as I was saying, with the other stitches that I have tried, I mean, they look like they can last, especially the ones that look like embroidery. But for this designs that come with the sewing machine, I really haven't tried to wash them to see if they would tear off or something. So I mean, to stay safe, you can actually just hand wash, but nobody likes to hand wash. Everyone likes to use the washing machine. So I'll probably try and just see what would happen. Anyway, this is the finished design. That's what it looks like. Okay, you can go ahead and iron, or maybe you just steam iron or something, which is probably going to be preferable. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope this was helpful, and I hope to see you in another video soon. Okay, see you later. Bye.